Welcome to episode 10 of Puppies 1, 2, 3 from Van Isle Labradoodles. Today we are going to talk a little bit about treats, and then we're going to go through what we recommend all of our new Labradoodle puppy families take home with them from Van Isle Doodles when they come to pick up their puppies. So we have several things laid out here, from grooming supplies, collars, through to treats, a few supplements, and then we'll also talk a bit about the beds and the crate mats. Now, when we talk about treats, one of the things that you need to be concerned about when you go to shopping for treats is, first of all, there's an explosion of things available, aisle after aisle after aisle. And there's all sorts of confusing things on the package. There'll be lots of packages that say one protein, US sourced, US made, etc., etc. All of these things are very confusing. As you know from my previous comments, there is little to no regulation in the pet industry. So there is nothing that controls what can go on the packaging for either food or for treats. So oftentimes a product will display really proudly, made in the USA. But that doesn't mean that the ingredients all came from the USA, and it doesn't tell you anything about how the ingredients and the product are made. So one of the worst things that you can buy for your dog from the pet store is any sort of rawhide, a jerky treat, or anything that is smoked. So anything that would be a smoked pig's ear, for example, you'll see many of those, hooves as well. Those are all not healthy for your dogs. The smoking process involves a lot of ingredients and a lot of methodology that is not healthy for a dog. So those should be avoided at all costs. Similarly, the same applies for rawhide. Rawhide is probably one of the worst things you can feed your dog. As for jerky, there are some products that are jerky that are not too bad. However, they are seldom sold in your average pet store. And most jerkies have been, again, processed in such a manner that they are harmful to your dogs. Indeed, there are many lawsuits currently pending in the US suing manufacturers of jerky for pets because they've caused the death of the pets. So those are the things we want to avoid. We started carrying these types of products because people had a hard time differentiating between what was and wasn't good for their puppy and for their Labradoodle as an adult, and also sourcing always the items that we recommend. So we use 3 brands of treats. One of them is Puppy Love, another one of them is 1 Bite, 2 Bite, and the other brand, which you don't see here, is Hero. There's no Hero treats today because those are only for adult dogs. We don't carry anything from Hero that is applicable for puppies. And when something is or isn't applicable for a puppy, the differentiation there is, can the puppy manage it? For instance, we love the smelts that come from Hero, and we really enjoy the sardines that we have from Sea Chest. But those things are not appropriate for puppies. They can choke on them. They don't really have the capacity to actually deal with them at this point in time. So what we're going to do today is show you the things that are good for your puppy, the things that are not only healthy for them, but also help with their teething, distract them from chewing you and your furniture. So we hope you find that helpful. So the first brand we're going to talk about is the 1 Bite, 2 Bite. 1 Bite, 2 Bite is freeze-dried, and we have both lamb lung and chicken and liver. And you can see on these that these are quite small pieces, so they're absolutely ideal for training purposes. This is also not liver, it's lung. We don't want to be feeding dogs too many liver treats because that can build up in a toxic level of vitamin A. Because the raw food diet you're feeding your dog is going to have organs contained in it, so they're getting lots of liver already in their diet, and we really don't want to be adding anything too much more in terms of a treat. But these are lovely. They're freeze-dried, so they don't smell, they don't crumble, they go into your pocket really easily. You can put them into a treat ball or a treat puzzle easily. You can just use them wherever you want, and the dogs love them. So what we have the puppies coming to when we call them, we give them a little bit of a whistle or a puppy, puppy, or a and we always throw some of these treats, either the beef lung or the freeze-dried chicken and liver, onto the floor for them. Now this one, the chicken and liver, is not all liver, so you have a combination of freeze-dried chicken and some bits of liver, so it's not so much that you need to worry about it. So these are both excellent. And one bag looks like it has a fair bit in it, but when you're training your puppy, when you go to puppy school, you will probably find you will go through this bag very quickly. So you may want to stock up on a half a dozen or so. Now the next brand we have is Puppy Love. Puppy Love is, and these also are all Canadian sourced, by the way, made in Canada. All the product is sourced from Canada. There's nothing else in it. It's just the lamb lung. The lamb is all antibiotic and hormone free, so you know you're all safe and good to go with that. Same thing for the chicken and the liver. Puppy Love is made in Alberta, and Puppy Love is owned by our friends Teresa and Marty Conrad. Teresa is a labradoodle breeder, and Marty started the Puppy Love pet products business because they were, like so many of us, looking for a healthy, nutritious, quality treat that was made in Canada, and he couldn't find anything. So they started their business in the garage, and now it is a great big going concern. So the Puppy Love products are all sourced again from proteins that are antibiotic and hormone free, all raised in Canada. So you know that everything you're getting is healthy and safe, and all of their process in making their products is perfectly good. It's terrific for your dog. So these are all wholesome and nutritious, really well thought out products for your labradoodle puppy. So this first one, and all that we have here, we recommend all of these for your puppy. And we also suggest you take home a good supply with you so you don't have to then reorder from us and pay for shipping right away. So you have them already on hand. They're not going to go bad. Puppy Love can sometimes be a little bit trickier to source, as they are not a giant US company, so they're not found everywhere, and not all the items are stocked all the time. So this first one is called Beef Slim Bits, and this is just an all beef product. It's about this size. It's a medium chew. It's a really good thing to put into the crate with your puppy when you're busy working and you want to have some free time. It's a good thing to have for your children to give to your puppy. They'll chew on it a bit. They can put it down wherever they are, play with a toy, come back to it. It's not super long lasting, but it's just a nice length of time. It's easily manageable in size, and it's very nutritious for them. The next one we have here, actually I'm going to go to this one here. This is the Junior Bully. So this is like a chew stick, but they're only mini size. They're only about 4.5 inches long. So again, the perfect size for a puppy. Easy for them to handle. They can have it in their mouths, in between their paws, and they don't get tired of it because it lasts for days and days and days and days. This will last your puppy more than a day easily. Again, another excellent item to have, so they have it in their crate. It's a great one to have when they're in the car with you. This will keep them occupied for a pretty good time. I would suggest having one of these go into the crate with your puppy in the evenings when you're putting them to bed as a special treat. That may be the only place you want to offer these to them, so that they're always looking forward to going to bed and having their little stick. They won't chew the whole thing up before they go to sleep. They'll chew on it for a while and then they'll fall asleep. And then if they happen to wake up during the night, and they don't really need to get up to go to the bathroom, they're just awake, they'll find this and they'll settle down again quite easily just by chewing on this again. So this is a really great product. The next one we have here are called Junior Ribbon Chews. Now these are a much longer lasting chew. They're a bigger one, and they're called ribbon chews because they're in the shape of a ribbon, such as the yellow ribbons or pink ribbons that you see. And the reason they last longer is because of that shape. So where the two items, where the item crosses over each other, that's quite a thick bit, and that will take quite a while for your puppy to chew through. This is a great product to have around the house, to have available for them to chew all the time. You're going to have raw bones for your dog as well. And of course, labradoodles, like all puppies, love their raw bones, but you don't want to necessarily have the raw bones available throughout your home. First of all, the raw bones can be a bit messy and a bit mucky once they've chewed on them. So you don't necessarily want that on their beds, on your furniture, or on your flooring. So these take the place of that, give them lots of exercise in terms of mental stimulation and also with their teething. Really good product, lasts quite a long time. The next one we have here is called a junior cane. And the junior cane is similar to the junior ribbon, except for it's a different shape. It's a little bit longer. This again will last fairly well. It lasts less time than the junior ribbon, but it is also a really good item to have around the house. It's great for your kids to have with the dogs. You can even play a bit of tug with it because it does have the longer end. And then it's shaped like a cane at the top, so that takes them a little bit longer to chew through. These are all beef products, by the way. And then over here we have duck. And these are duck feet. Now, duck feet are really, really good for your puppies. They're very nutritious again, and they're also a great dental product. They are working similar to a fresh bone to help keep the plaque off their teeth. And the feet, when they're like this in their dried format, aren't going to make a mess like a fresh duck foot does. Nothing wrong with fresh duck feet. The puppies have enjoyed those while they've been here with us, but it takes them a long time to get through a fresh duck foot. So normally what we do is give them to the puppies, they have them for a while, then I take them out and give them to our big dogs. Otherwise the bones would just get all mucky and they would go bad before they were finished with them. So these takes the place of that while they're puppies, offer lots of the same benefits, and these are a long-lasting chew. So again, a great product to have in the car, to distract your puppy with. So if you're working in your home office, this is a great thing to give them. And you want to be able to give them variety. Just like with their proteins and their meals, you want to vary what they're eating for treats. So having the beef and the duck plus the chicken and the lamb is a really good idea, as that way they get a lot of different proteins. And the other product we have, which is also duck, is duck wings. Very similar to the duck feet, same thing, a little bit smaller size, a little bit different shape. These don't last quite as long as the duck feet, but have all the benefits. So one of each is usually pretty good. Some dogs prefer one over the other just because of the shape, and depending on how fast your dog matures in terms of their dentition, they may prefer the wings over the feet or vice versa. And then finally, one of the items you will get with your food package is smack. We've talked about smack a little bit in the feeding videos, and this is a dehydrated raw product, but it's different from other dehydrated labradoodle food or dog food in that it is dehydrated at a very gentle and low heat. So the bioavailability is all here still. It hasn't been lost to the high heat processing. This too is a Canadian company. Everything is sourced from Canada. It contains vegetables and organs and bone. So the smack, we're going to give it to you, and we're going to give you full feeding directions. It will be a meal for your puppy here and there, but initially what you're going to do with this is use it as a treat as well. It is very easy to break into small pieces, so it can be used similar to the lamb lung and the chicken and liver pieces in that it's small, it's excellent for training, and all three of those are regarded as high value treats. When you start going to your puppy classes, your trainers are going to tell you the difference between a low value treat and a high value treat. And you'll soon learn which is which with your puppy. Every dog is different. Labradoodles all have their peculiar and favorite tastes. And so your puppy may decide that the smack is their high value and the chicken is not, or they may decide that the lamb lung is the high value. You'll find that out quickly enough, as each puppy is an individual. Now that's the treats, and as I said, it's really important, even moving forward as an adult, that you always are rotating the treats in terms of the proteins, the shapes, and everything that you are offering them. Now, in our other series, Labradoodles 101, we will be doing a video on feeding your Labradoodle as your Labradoodle matures and as an adult, addressing any particular issues or concerns you may have. And we'll also be doing one on treats and what you should be avoiding in terms of, as I said, about feeding too much liver in a treat and what you should be looking for with your adult Labradoodle as well. And with the smack, one other thing that's really nice about this product is that sometimes people say, oh, at the bottom of the bag, everything's all squashed up and it's kind of crumbly. And it is, it does get like that. It becomes sort of just like a crumbled version if you had pounded it. That is excellent for putting on top of your puppy's raw food. It gives them a bit of crunch, it gives them a different smell, and it's really good for encouraging your puppy to eat. Now we're going to move on to supplements. We do have a pre-probiotic that is canine specific, and that is our love bugs. These puppies have not had the love bugs. If you wish to add it to their diet, it certainly will not do them any harm. It will probably do them some good. We chose not to give it to this litter of puppies as we were switching over to a different type of supplement, and we wanted to be able to monitor the difference. So far, everything has gone really well. We're really happy with how the puppies' coats look. Their poops are great, and we haven't even added any pumpkin to these puppies' diets. So we're really pleased with the combination that we've come up with, which is a new one for us. And what that is this kelp supplement here. And this is an all-natural supplement as well. It is, again, a Canadian product. And this has over 60 vital minerals as well as amino acids and vitamins. And it helps in digestion. So that's why we eliminated the pre-probiotics and the pumpkin. And we haven't had any digestive issues. So we feel confident that this is handling that. It also gives them really healthy skin and a beautiful shiny coat. It also is said to improve their immune system, and it also assists with adrenal and thyroid gland function. And that's really important. When a dog is on a raw food diet, if they're eating one of their proteins, which happens to be made from the whole animal, or if they have bones that are neck bones, then they are eating thyroid. So that is something we want to always be monitoring and keeping under control with our Labradoodles. And this kelp product does all of that and more. And boosting the immune system, of course, is always a bonus. And keeping the adrenal glands working, excellent as well. The dogs don't mind the flavor of it. It's a very reasonable product. You don't feed very much of it. It even comes with its own measuring scoop. The other thing the puppies have all had every day is this hemp seed oil. Now, why hemp seed oil? We used to, and most people used to previously, use a fish oil. And generally speaking, that was a salmon fish oil. We switched off of that once we became aware of the fact that there's so many heavy metals now in our oceans that if you're feeding your Labradoodle fish or fish oil on a daily basis, you're giving them too many heavy metals. It's just like you and I don't eat fish every day for that same reason. So we were looking for something to switch from our salmon oil, and we found phytoplankton. Phytoplankton is a superfood. It's terrific, and we were using that for the longest time. However, the dogs don't really like the taste of the phytoplankton. It is very strong smelling, and a lot of dogs just simply refused to eat their meals when the phytoplankton was mixed into it. Even though you use a minute amount, there were several dogs who didn't like it. If you are using phytoplankton and your Labradoodle likes it, you don't need to necessarily change. However, with the puppies and moving forward, we've switched all of our dogs now off of the phytoplankton and onto this hemp seed oil. This bottle is 100 servings, so it lasts a good long time. It does have to be kept in the fridge, and it acts the same way as a fish oil or the phytoplankton does. Mostly what it is the omega fatty acids, and this is all plant-based, obviously, since it is hemp seed oil. So it also helps to improve their skin and their coat. It gives them, it is a natural anti-inflammatory, which is really important right from puppyhood up through adulthood. And it also helps to strengthen your Labradoodle's immune system, and it provides the benefit for a healthy heart and healthy organ function. So these two products together are super for your Labradoodle, right from puppyhood through to adulthood. And your puppies in the New Year litter have all been eating these two items since they were weaned to raw food at 5 weeks. Now, the other thing when it comes to feeding puppies and a raw food diet is calcium. Puppies need a lot of calcium, more calcium than adult puppies do. And that's because their bones and their joints are still forming. So the raw bones are really helpful for that. But because they're puppies and their teeth are immature, and even once they get their adult teeth, their jaws are still somewhat immature. Sometimes they don't eat the whole bone. If it's a chicken wing, yes, they'll consume the entire thing. But if you're giving them, say, an elk bone, which is what we give ours frequently, or even a lamb neck bone, they often will leave the actual vertebrae behind and not be able to process that. So that means they're missing out on some of the minerals and in particular the calcium that the bone offers. So eggshell calcium is one of the best and most bioavailable forms of calcium. This is a powder. This will last forever and ever. You don't need to feed very much of it. What you feed is a half a teaspoon per 1 pound of food. Now, depending on the size of Labradoodle puppy you get from Van Isle Doodles, your puppy may be eating a pound a day or maybe eating less than a pound a day. So you just adjust. And there's no reason why you can't use this whole jar even after your puppy has reached maturity. Extra calcium is fine. You just don't want to overdo it. But it's a great product. Again, it's not too expensive, and it's a really easy way to ensure that your puppy is getting all of the necessary calcium they need, even though they're on a raw food diet. So that's the food part. Now let's move to let's do something pretty. Let's look at these collars we have. Now, if you are having a puppy from one of our smaller litters, such as Gigi's litter with smoochers, the New Year puppies, they will be able to keep wearing these collars for their entire lives. These collars all come from Vancouver, but they're actually handmade in Mexico. And the place that supplies them in Vancouver contributes the profits to a women's artisan group in Mexico. So it is designed to assist and promote women who are artists throughout Mexico. So this part is all hand woven, and then it's all onto this beautiful leather backing. They're really lovely collars. They're very unique. Every one of them is different, and you probably won't find too many dogs who have these. If you're getting a puppy who is a little bit larger than one of the small minis, then we have them in the next size up, which is a medium size. So they're bigger around the neck and they're a little bit wider through the collar. But the patterns and everything are beautiful. There's all sorts of unique ones, and they're really just a real fashion statement for your puppy. We do not keep collars on our dogs at home. You may want to, though, when you're house training your puppy. And what I would suggest is this is their going out and out into town collar. And then you keep the collar that we will provide you with for free in the house, and it won't matter if they're rolling around in the dirt, if it gets wet, or if they're mucking about doing anything, because it's just an inexpensive collar. It will last for a long time, but it's not like a fashion statement like this one is. So this one you would want to take a little bit better care of. So that's the collars. We also have leashes that match these if you're interested. The leashes have this same braiding in a loop that fits over your wrist, and then the leash itself is this same beautiful leather. Very well made. Now for grooming. You can check out our Labradoodle Puppies at Home videos, and you will find out more information on grooming your puppy right from the beginning through to adulthood. And when you come to pick your puppy up from Van Isle Labradoodles, we'll also give you a handout so you can take that to your groomer and make sure that your groomer knows how to groom your Labradoodle puppy properly. This is the brush that we have and that we recommend. It is called a slicker brush. It has a bent wire on it, and this is designed to actually go through your Labradoodle coat effectively. When you brush your labradoodle, you brush up on the fur, as you'll see in our grooming video. And this brush is able to actually get through, but it's not so uncomfortable that it hurts their skin. There's lots of brushes on the market. There are many expensive brushes. These brushes are $35, so they're a very reasonable brush. It will last. This is what our groomer uses to groom many breeds of dogs, including all of our labradoodles. This is the brush we have. I have a more expensive brush that I've had for many years, and I honestly can't say that it is superior to this brush. And it was, I believe, $110 US. So this one is a better deal. And then this is the comb that we offer for you to use, and this is called a butter comb. And it has two different variations in the teeth. You have the thick one and the thin one. So after you've used the brush to groom your labradoodle, then you go through it with the thick end of the wide tines. And then the smaller tines are for around the face area and the ear area. I like these combs because they have this nice rounded handle. It's really easy and comfortable to hold on to. Again, these are really reasonably priced. You can find many much more expensive combs, but they're actually essentially the exact same comb. Now, these are the actual sort of bathing type products. This is the shampoo that we use. This is the shampoo that your puppy will have been bathed in for the 4 times before he comes home to you. It is a Canadian product, although it has Dead Sea minerals in it, and obviously the Dead Sea is not in Canada. And this is a puppy safe product, so it's tear-free, it's extremely gentle, it doesn't dry out their skin, and while it has something of a scent to it, it's not an overwhelming perfumey smell. It's not offensive at all. It's really nice. It's just a nice clean smell. And if you happen to have a cat, you can use it on your cat if you're ever brave enough to try and wash your cat. Then from the same company, we have this dry shampoo. This is a really nice shampoo. You just shake it and then you pump it out and it's like a mousse. So it's not all sticky and gooey and full of lick like many of the dry shampoos are. These are really handy for when it's raining and on the West Coast in Vancouver or Vancouver Island in Victoria, we get a lot of rain and our puppies are often muddy. This is great for little bits of spot cleaning on their feet. It's also really good for on their faces. Now, when you're feeding a raw diet, if you have your puppy's hair longer on their face and you're worried about them having some of the raw food on their face, this is really good to clean their face off with afterward. And they won't mind it quite as much as if you're wiping them with a damp cloth. This product is called an instant conditioner, but it's also a dematter. This is an awesome product. I use this quite a lot. So our dogs often get small little mats in between their grooming sessions. And if it's one that I'm kind of having to pull on and the dogs are getting a bit like, yeah, have you finished yet? If you spray your dog with this, it really helps the mats come out so much more readily. If you have a great big huge one, it's not going to fix that. But if you just have your regular, week to week mats, this is a great product. It also conditions their coat, keeps it nice and shiny, keeps it fresher, and it does help to repel dirt. So those are those products there. And everything that we're talking about today, we have available here for pickup when you come to pick your puppy up from Van Isle Labradoodles. And just before you come for pickup, we will email you an order form, and then you can just pick what you want off of that order form. You can come back and watch this videos because, of course, you won't remember all of the treats I suggested. You'll find everything on that order form. Just indicate what it is you want, and we can go from there. Now we're going to talk about crate mats and bedding. So we've talked about the beds and the crate mats previously, and these are all each handmade, individually made products that are all from Canada. They all come from Alberta, and the dogs just love them. So these are a couple of examples of the crate mats. These will fit into the size of crate that we recommend, and it doesn't matter if you have a mini or a medium, we always recommend the same size crate. These fit in perfectly, and you can also easily take them out and use them as a second bed if you wish to. They're really easy to wash and dry. They can go into the washing machine and the dryer quite readily. And these are the 2 patterns that we have available right now. We will be ordering again in January and having different patterns, but this is what we have on hand at the moment. Now, the other type of crate bed we talked about was this rimmed crate bed. This is the rimmed crate bed. This is also fine to use outside of the crate as a bed for your puppy. If you have a small mini, then your puppy is going to be able to fit in this forever. Indeed, Ripple can fit into one of these. If there's one hanging around, she will often choose to lie in these because the dogs all like to have the smallest possible bed mostly and curl up right in them. This also fits right inside your crate. Now, right now we have the rim bed in this pattern, which is a blue and black plaid, and we have the beds available in this same blue and black plaid, but it has little white dogs on it as well. So if you wanted them to be somewhat matching, that would be the one to pick. And the other rimmed crate bed that I have available right now is a gray with red Canadian geese on it. And then the beds, of course, are like this, as we've seen in our video on crates and beds. This is a medium-sized bed. This is great for a mini. And if you want, you can buy a large size one if you prefer. Now, the large size bed is always good if you have kids that you think are going to get in the bed with your puppy and want to play. Then you might want to get the larger size. So we have the red maple leaf pattern available. We have the blue and black plaid with the white puppies on it. And then we have the light blue with the dogs on it, which you saw in our previous Puppies 1, 2, 3 video on beds and crates. So those are great. They come apart. You can take the middle part out and throw it in the washing machine in the dryer, and then you have a nice, fresh, clean bed. The whole bed can go in, but usually it's just the middle pad that you need to worry about replacing. Now, for your food for your puppy, when you go home from Van Isle Labradoodles, we'll put an order together for you. We'll ask you if you would like to have a 2, 3, or 4 week supply of food, and we'll give you an idea of how many pounds that will be for your particular puppy. Each litter is different because, of course, each size of puppy is different, and it just depends on how much freezer space you have available. And so we'll get that all packaged up for you so that it has the correct rotation and that it has a variety of different proteins and is things that your puppy enjoys eating. So we hope you enjoyed today's video on treats and what we have available at Van Isle Labradoodles for your pickup package when you go home with your brand new Labradoodle puppy. Thanks for watching.